win. The Yankees win.
Yes, indeed. It is Wrestling Uncensored. Tonight we preview AEW All Out Out! Yes, indeed. Where are we? Give me something. Oh, that's not quite it. Where are we? Hold on.
Hey! Yes, boy!
Yes, boy! We go on and on, on and on. We go on and on, on and on. Not enough.
Lions yawn.
Not enough Pretty Deadly on SmackDown tonight.
Nearly.
Am I right?
We
saw
for
them
5 seconds.
Yeah, they said a couple lines and then they disappeared, just like us.
I see your face.
Sometimes I see my face on Wrestling Uncensored, and sometimes I disappear.
Oh, there we are.
I'm back and better than ever. Whoa, damn it. What happened? I keep disappearing. Welcome to the show, everybody. I know you can hear me. You can kind of see me. You can't see me.
Kind of look like a ghost.
I think that'll be it. Is that enough? Are we done with that? Are we going to keep doing that throughout the show? Is that how the show looks now?
Maybe.
I don't know. No one tells me anything. It's okay. We're going to preview AEW All Out tonight. We're going to review SmackDown. Johnny North is not here. He's out wrestling. Johnny North is a great professional wrestler, and he gets booked all the time. More and more, Johnny's getting bookings. He's booked like almost every weekend. We're missing John here on Wrestling Uncensored, but he'll be back next week, I think. I'm pretty sure. He's busy. He's out in Sudbury, Ontario. He's going to be wrestling tomorrow night. So good luck to my main man, Johnny North, tomorrow. Hope you win another big match. Smash up your opponents. As he does. He's great.
Make us proud.
So we are here. Stepping in, of course, for Johnny North.
Oh.
Is baby bro. So we've got a lot to cover here on the show tonight. What do you want to do? What do you want to do?
Where do we start?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
Not much of a SmackDown.
We could go with AEW. We could talk about SmackDown. SmackDown was pretty mid.
A little below mid.
What's up, Angelo? Angelo's in the chat.
Oh.
Angelo, you want us to start with AEW? Do you want us to start with WWE? Do you want us to start with the New York Yankees, who won this afternoon against the Chicago Cubs, 3-0?
Aaron Judge hit his 125th RBI.
Very nice.
Pretty good.
Very nice. Good for the Yankees. Good for Aaron Judge.
Great start for Luis Hill. 1 hit allowed in 6 innings.
So do you keep him in the rotation is the question. These are the questions on my mind.
I don't know, like top of the playoff rotation. You start Cole game 1? Just because he's the ace. I mean, he hasn't given always the best starts.
Cole game 1 for sure. You have to go with Cole game 1 in a playoff rotation.
Ball
You gotta
game
go
over.
with Garrett Cole
Yankees
game 1.
win.
Maybe Nestor game 2, righty then lefty.
Yankees win.
Yeah, Nestor?
Nestor game 2.
Really?
Righty lefty, throw off, make them change up their lineups.
Not Rodon?
Oh yeah, Rodon. I forget about Rodon.
I would go Cole, Rodon, and either Hill or Schmidt.
Or Stroman? Schmidt
Maybe.
back? Schmidt's coming back.
Yeah, but if Schmidt
He's got
comes
some
back
rehab
and is the
starts.
same Schmidt that he was and can be, I
Yeah.
mean, he could be the third guy easily, but it might be coming into the season a little late off injury. I don't know how he's
Could
going
be
to be.
heel if he has more starts like this.
Yeah.
It's tricky.
It could be Hill. Luis Hill has been really good this season for the Yankees, so I'm not sure who the third starter is in that 3-man rotation for the playoffs, but I think it's Cole and Rodon because those are the money guys. Those are the guys that you're supposed to be depending on. Earn your paycheck in the playoffs. And I think Garrett Cole will, and I hope Rodon will. And if he doesn't, well, then that'll be him getting exposed on the biggest stage he could get exposed on, and
That'll suck.
that'll be who he is. That'll be his legacy. If he's happy with that, we'll see if he shows up. Carlos Rodon. Kind of a bust. Kind of a bust.
It's a lot of money.
Lost 110 for the White Sox. What happened to the Orioles tonight? Did they win? I think they were playing the Rays.
Yeah, last I saw it was 0-0.
Orioles beating the Rays 2-0.
Come on, Rays.
Orioles just unstoppable. What are we, a game back now?
Already half?
Game and a half? Half game back.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
yeah. It's interchangeable. That like the second to last series of the season is, I think, at Camden. 3 games at Camden. It's gonna be tight.
It's gonna come down to the last series of the season.
I think they have any. I think it's like the Jays, maybe. I'm hoping something like that. Someone they can just beat up on.
I don't know. It's gonna be real tight down the stretch. I love September and October baseball. It's very, very exciting. And if you follow the whole season, and if you're paying attention, it really gets, it's so rewarding. Mm-hmm. At this point in the season, you're just like, oh my God. It's been all leading up to this, months and months, just leading to these moments where you're like, what's going to happen? It's very stressful.
It could all go so quickly.
It's really exciting. I know people talk about baseball being boring and like they're so few people I talk to are actual baseball fans nowadays, but man, I love MMA, which is a very exciting sport, and baseball, which is also, to me, a very exciting sport.
Yeah, it's incredibly exciting.
Yeah, every pitch, I love the game.
The tension release.
Yeah, it's amazing tension. It's crazy.
You can't run out the clock. I love that about baseball.
Oh, there's a pitch clock.
No, but I mean, like, if you're up ahead, like if you're up 9-1 in the bottom of the ninth, 2 outs, you could still lose the game.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, if you're up like 4-1 in soccer with a minute left, you got it.
Or football, you're up by like a field goal and a touchdown.
No, that's true. But it's never over until it's really over.
Yogi Berra.
Yeah. It ain't over till it's over.
That's right. It's one of his phrases.
Classic. Yeah, baseball is beautiful. I really love it. People that don't love it, I feel like they just don't get it. There's like an appreciation.
Yeah. Especially with the changes made.
I think baseball is an acquired taste. Mm-hmm. Like you gotta kind of know it and understand the nuances of the game and why and the strategy, why you would do this and that. Like the other day I was watching the Yankees game and Garrett Cole was pitching, and he had like maybe 82 pitches thrown or maybe 85 pitches thrown after the 6th inning, and I was wondering, do we put him in for the 7th? Mm-hmm. Or not, because the 85 pitches, what are you going to do? You're going to throw 15, 20 pitches at the most and then get pulled, and that could be a whole inning, or that could be, that could be a batter, 20 pitches. You never know what 20 pitches is, but that he's not going to be throwing over 105, 110 pitches at the very most in a game, right?
No, they want to.
So I'm just wondering, sitting there thinking, after the 6th, if the Yankees coming up at bat, in the 7th, are they going to put Cole in there? And I also thought, if you're not a baseball fan, you're not thinking about this. This is not a thought. And I was like tense about it. I was nervous. I was like, oh man, what's Boone gonna do? What's the decision here? Put him in, and then Cole took himself out because he had that calf strain. It wasn't a strain. It was a
cramp.
Yeah. They're saying it's a cramp, not a strain. Which
They're saying he's okay. It'd be good for his next start.
But just that tension was like, I was like, what are we doing with Cole here? He's got 85 pitches. Like, are we putting him in for another inning? So I think, that type of thing, you kind of have to know baseball and love the game. But it's like a bit of an acquired taste, baseball.
I do. But I think a lot of the efforts they've made to kind of like make the games a bit shorter.
Yeah.
I think they've been effective, and I think it kind of are good ways at solving like a lot of criticism I had about baseball about being very long. Endless visits to the mound kind of like makes people not pay attention.
Yeah.
Endless pickoffs. I think they've made some adjustments. Or next season, I think there's gonna be some pickoff rules.
Yeah.
You can't do it too much.
Yeah, I think so.
I think, and like now games are coming in like under 3 hours pretty regularly.
They're faster, yeah.
And I don't know if the audience enough that like feels kind of hardened to like what they think is boring. If they could come around to that, I hope so. Yeah. Because I think they made some good efforts to make it still pretty exciting.
I find
but still have a lot of strategy involved as well.
I find the game really exciting. Yeah. I'm enjoying Major League Baseball.
Yankees Red Sox Sunday night games.
It's fun.
But they used to be like 6 hours because they would just agonize over every single pitch.
Yeah.
So like the pitching coach would come out to the mound all the time.
Now
and the catcher,
it's like 2 hours 45.
Yeah,
it's
like
crazy.
the catcher can't go out to the mound like more than 3 times or something.
Yeah, there's a limit on everything, which is good. It speeds the game up.
Yeah.
The whole game has been sped up, which I was kind of against at first, but now I do enjoy it because when I'm consuming so much baseball, it's a lot easier to consume.
Yeah.
I'm spending less of my time watching baseball.
I'll watch other teams sometimes if the Yankees aren't on.
That's it. I can still watch a whole Yankee game. I can get all the information and all the data and all the, enjoyment out of the game. I just spend less time doing it, which is like nicer, You don't want to sit there for 4 or 5 hours watching a game.
Yeah,
it's not that fun.
And especially if it's like a nothing game against like a bottom feeder team.
It is more fun to consume a sports thing that's like 2 hours and a half to 3 hours.
Pretty standard.
That's all
That's
you
what
need.
It should be.
Yeah. Ryan Katz saying the loss of the Expos turned off a lot of fans in the city. Yeah, that's true in Montreal for sure. A lot of baseball fans. No longer baseball fans because there's no longer a baseball team. But I grew up with a baseball team and as a baseball player, so I still really love baseball. But I love pro wrestling as well, and people are here to talk about pro wrestling. They don't want to hear us talk about baseball. But, this is what happens when we're not sure to go AEW, WWE, Yankees, and then we just go, Yankees, okay, let's talk about baseball.
I mean, yeah, I'm always happy to talk Yanks.
Yeah.
Yeah. Love the Yanks.
Well, I think another thing is when you and I get together, we both love the Yankees so much, and it's like there's not that many people we can talk to in our lives. It's like there's not that many baseball fans out there, so there's not many people out there that I can
if
talk to.
They do, they probably like the Jays or the Red Sox.
Yeah. I talked to a guy who was a Jays fan the other day, and I was like, why? Anyways, let's talk a little bit about SmackDown tonight and what happened. We had a main event of the DIY and the Street Profits against the Bloodline. Like all of the Bloodline. Solo Sikoa, Jacob Fatu, Tama Tonga, Tonga Loa. It was an 8-man tag. And guess who won? Like, what? It was really strange that this was the main event of SmackDown. It seemed kind of obvious. Cody cut a promo at the top of the show. He called out the Bloodline after putting over Kevin Owens and talking about their great match that they had at Bash in Berlin. I think there's still something brewing there with Cody and Kevin. We saw Austin Theory kind of poking Kevin about, hey, how come you didn't help Cody there? How come you're not on Team Cody? And he's like, me and Cody are fine. Don't worry about it, right? But there was a little tension, I think, still with Cody and Kevin. So Cody invited the Bloodline to come out, and Solo and the guys, they all come out. Solo is the only one to go in the ring, though, and the rest of them stand outside of the ring, which is important because Cody starts saying, oh, you deserve a championship. You're really good. And he's putting over a guy. And Solo's like, yeah, that's right. I do deserve a championship shot. And Cody's like, no. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about you, Jacob Fatu. Step up. And then Fatu kind of leaves Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa, and he starts walking into the ring, and he gets on the apron. And Solo kind of looks at him like, what are you doing here?
You're my goon.
You're the backup. I'm the one who gets the title shots. If Cody tells you to do something, you don't do it. And he's like, oh, yeah, I love you, Solo. You're my tribal chief. And he does this thing where he's like, And so Solo's like, yeah, that's right. And then they all go to attack Cody. They circle Cody. But then Cody is saved by the DIY and the Street Profits for some reason. They're there to back up Cody, and then they wrestle the Bloodline in a pretty nothing 8-man tag main event that the Bloodline won. Jacob Fatu had Montez beat, and then Solo demanded to be tagged in so he could hit 2 Samoan spikes and pin Montez because he's got to get the win because he's Solo. He's the tribal chief now.
I'm Triple H. You're Batista.
That's it. He's asserting his dominance over the whole group, and that was the story that they told here tonight with Solo Sikoa and the Bloodline. Cody saying, "Oh, actually, this guy is the strongest guy of the group, Jacob Fatu." And Solo's like, "Whoa, Cody! I make these decisions here, Jacob Fatu. You better stand down." And Fatu's like, "Oh, okay, I'll do that for now because I love you, Solo, but."
We'll see in
eventually,
6 months.
yeah, exactly. So all that is going on, and it was just kind of basic.
Yeah.
I thought the most interesting part about the whole Cody and Solo promo that we saw on SmackDown tonight was the crowd chanting, "We want Roman."
Quite loudly.
Pretty loud "We want Roman" chants, which is not a surprise. Like, Roman got beat down by these guys a couple weeks ago by the Bloodline, right? And he hasn't been seen since, and he's a babyface, and they want Roman to get some revenge. And they were hoping to see Roman Reigns because he's a big star. So when you buy a ticket to SmackDown, you're kind of like,
hey, maybe.
gee, it'd be cool if Roman made his return tonight because I'd get to see that. But unfortunately for the people in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada, home of some wrestler, I forget, they didn't get that. They didn't get Roman Reigns. He was not there. And it made me think, like, when Roman does come back, when Roman is there more often, you would expect him to be there more often at some point, right? He's the top babyface on SmackDown. I think that's pretty clear. When Roman returns, he's the number one babyface on SmackDown going up against the Bloodline. The crowd has given Roman nothing but babyface reactions. So where does that leave Cody?
I don't know. I mean, how long do you think Cody's run will last? Do you think it lasts through Mania? Or like up to Mania? Or do you think Solo at some point takes the belt? Because I feel like they got to give Solo the belt, maybe to give him some legitimacy, to make it more of a victory when Roman wins and not just him just running right through him. I feel like they want to make it feel important. And like Solo is kind of hovering in that title picture, and he's got a lot of goons. I mean, it's not out of the question that Solo could be the champion before the year is up.
I don't think that's where they go. This is where I think it's headed.
All right.
Roman stopped Solo from winning the belt.
Okay. Like a Survivor Series? Or...
Well, I think maybe Bad Blood.
Yeah.
Because I think Solo's going to get the shot there. Roman is going to stop Solo. It'll either be at Bad Blood or Kevin will stop him at Bad Blood. But Roman is going to be a roadblock for Solo getting the title from Cody because Roman wants revenge for everything, right? So Roman is going to be roadblocking Solo. And I think along the way, he's going to team up with Cody.
Okay.
Maybe in some sort of War Games match at Survivor Series where it's Roman and Cody and Kevin and a team of all-stars against the evil Bloodline.
Maybe they'll recruit Sami Zayn.
Roman, Kevin, Cody, and... I mean, it really doesn't matter.
Nah,
it could be LA Knight. It could be Sami Zayn,
I guess. John Cena.
It could be John Cena. Although I think Cena's only coming back in January.
Yeah, for his farewell kind of.
So tour. November is unlikely, but it doesn't really matter. But I think it'll be a 4-on-4 type of Survivor Series War Games with Cody and Roman together against the Bloodline. And from there, I think you keep Cody and Roman together on the same side until The Rock comes back and says, hey, Roman, what's the deal? You're going against the family. Mm-hmm. You are stopping Solo and from going up against Cody and taking the championship. And even worse, you're teaming with Cody. You're not yourself going up against Cody. You're giving in and saying that our family is not the top family, that the Rhodes family is now the most important family in wrestling. You're disrespecting the family. You're disrespecting the legacy, Roman.
The final boss.
And now you're going to have to pay the price of the final boss. The people's champ. And I think that heads into a WrestleMania, where I think a number of things and matches could play out. But I think Roman and The Rock is a possibility of one match. I think Cody could wrestle somebody else entirely. I think Cody could wrestle Solo. I think the Cody Solo thing is going to lead into something with The Rock. And it may be Rock versus Cody. And maybe The Rock is the guy to take the belt off Cody.
It may be.
You know?
Final boss.
It's possible. or Cody beats The Rock, and then we see what happens after WrestleMania. Maybe then Roman and Cody go, okay, well, we've done everything together now. It's time. Like, Cody, we're friends, but I need a title shot type of thing. Maybe they do that, or maybe Roman turns on him entirely and decides that Rock is right, that he has disrespected the family, and he regains control of the bloodline, and he takes control of the whole new group and all that. There's a lot of options there, but that's where I think it's headed. I don't think it's headed in the direction of Solo taking the belt off Cody before WrestleMania. I think it's headed in the direction of Cody kind of has to still have the championship by at least January, February, come Mania time, for The Rock to have a reason to come in and exist and be mad at Roman and kind of have like a new story to build on, and then continue what he was doing last year. I think that's where we're headed. And also, like Solo kind of saying he's got the blessings of the tribal chief and the elders, and it's all this stuff. Like, who's he talking about?
Yeah, it's foreshadowing that The Rock is behind all this.
It does seem like The Rock may
It's
be
me,
behind
Roman.
the whole
It was
group.
me
Yeah.
all along, Roman.
Yeah. I think if you're paying attention, they're dropping some breadcrumbs, and, if you follow the path, it seems like that's where they're headed, which is not bad.
Yeah.
I'm just not sure what they do as far as the match. Like, do they do Rock, Cody straight up? Do they do another thing where it's maybe Rock and Solo versus Cody and Roman night 1?
Yeah.
And then Cody and Rock night 2, or
And Roman Solo maybe in a match.
Roman Solo in like a one-on-one kind of ultimate blow-off match at Mania, but that's a long time to wait for all of that. But we know it's not happening at... I don't think it's happening at Bad Blood, because Solo seems to be headed towards a match with Cody at Bad Blood. So Roman's not going to wrestle him there. Maybe in Saudi? I think they have a show in Saudi coming
December?
up. Yeah. Early November in Saudi?
Damn. It never stops.
Yeah, their schedule is
They
crazy.
just keep going, like, across the oceans. Like, they got to be so tired.
Bad Blood is October 5th in Atlanta. No matches announced yet. That is the next WWE premium live event. November 2nd, they're in Riyadh for Crown Jewel. And then Survivor Series War Games is November 30th in Vancouver.
Oh, Vancouver.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So they've got 2 shows in November. Kind of a break, though. Nothing in September. They just did the Bash in Berlin, and now kind of chilling.
Just building up for Bad Blood.
But, I do believe that's where it's all headed. With The Rock figuring into it again. He's got to, right?
Yeah.
Like, at this point,
Starting on Netflix.
it calls for The Rock to come back. And I think,
He'll be finished shooting his movie.
like, he could even be the guy to take the belt off Cody.
I Mania, but...
Why not?
Yeah.
It could be Rock Cody night 1, and Roman faces the winner on night 2.
I'd like to see at the end of the Rumble, it'd be like Rock Cena, the last 2 in the Rumble. It's possible.
It is possible. You never know.
Yeah, because that'll probably be a storyline going into it, Cena. But that's the Rumble.
I think we're building towards Gunther and CM Punk long term, I think, at WrestleMania.
Oh, not Cena, Gunther.
Yeah, I heard that thrown around, but like the Punk match is there too. Punk called Gunther out, but then Drew McIntyre attacked him on Raw this week. I don't know if you saw that. Nonsense on Raw.
Yeah.
The bracelet is finally broken.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
Yeah, hopefully that's the end of all that.
He finally broke the bracelet, which I've been calling for months here on the show. I'm just like, hey, it's a bead bracelet. You know what might piss Punk off more than just like holding it on your wrist until he gets it back? Maybe just like breaking it apart and just like throw in the beads, because it's pretty easy to rip one of those things apart.
Yeah, it's like in Home Alone.
And only this week, when Drew was finally defeated by CM Punk with the beads on the line, he attacked CM Punk from behind and took the beads off of him and then shoved them in his mouth and gave him the Claymore kick. And then when we came back from commercial, Punk was on a stretcher and he was like bleeding from his mouth, but not really.
Yeah,
like
the
fake blood from his mouth, because he had the beads in there, and Drew even though Drew kicks the guys like in the chest or belly when he does that kick, this one hit him right in the jaw, and with the beads, it just shattered his whole mouth. So, judging on what the WWE is trying to tell me by this injury, CM Punk should be toothless the next time we see him, or at least have some new teeth or something. Because you're telling me that he shoved so many beads in the guy's mouth, and then he kicked him in the mouth, and then tons of blood came out of it. Like, there was so much fake blood coming out of his mouth. You go, well, some sort of trauma has happened to CM Punk. He got wheeled away in an ambulance.
Yeah, is concussion? Or...
So when he comes back, he better be, jaw broken or toothless or something. Maybe he can come back with a dentist. I hear Britt Baker might be available.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. AEW is acting like she doesn't exist and has never existed.
All right. Like, I mean, she hasn't been on TV since
losing to Mercedes, and they haven't mentioned the match. They haven't mentioned her name. So nothing.
They're doing the thing of just waiting out her contract.
I don't know. It's weird. People are kind of wondering, like, where's Britt Baker? What happened to her?
She had to go back to her home planet.
There was that whole thing about a suspension.
Yeah, for the MJF.
Some sort of incident with MJF, some sort of shouting match. And now she's like kind of a ghost on AEW TV, which is weird because you would think after the match at All In she would come back, and because she just came back.
Jamie Hayter's back.
Yeah, I don't know. And they're not like Mercedes isn't even mentioning her
she just
in the
completely moved on.
She hasn't said like, "Hey, I beat Britt Baker." I did like nothing. She hasn't said her name. No one said her name. Match happened, and it's like it never happened.
That's very strange.
It's almost like she's from Edmonton. They're saying her name that little that it's almost like she's Edmonton's favorite wrestler.
Yeah.
Crazy stuff.
Gotta be another famous wrestler from Edmonton.
I cannot think of another famous wrestler from Edmonton.
Lance Storm is from Calgary?
Lance Storm is from Calgary. I'm pretty sure.
I mean, there might be some that we might not be aware of.
I don't Lance Storm, I'm pretty sure is... No, actually, he's from Sarnia, Ontario.
Oh, Sarnia.
He just is billed from Calgary. And he would always say...
From Calgary,
Alberta, Canada.
That's just incredible.
Yeah, that was his whole tagline in ECW, but apparently he's from Sarnia, Ontario, Lance Storm, you goddamn liar.
Where's Earthquake's from BC?
Earthquake is from BC.
Piper's from BC.
Piper, I thought, was from Winnipeg. You idiot. Oh, no, he's from Saskatoon, brother.
Oh, Saskatoon.
Roddy Piper's born in Saskatoon. Don't disrespect the pipe.
So...
I think Stu Hart is also from Saskatchewan. Saskatoon. Yeah.
Saskatoon. It's a tough place.
Yeah.
Up north in northern Saskatchewan.
Some of the toughest wrestlers in Canada's history. Stu Hart and Roddy Piper, both from Saskatoon. Don't fuck with Saskatoon.
Good legacy.
Yeah, that's a serious legacy. Edmonton, the only guy I could think of is Chris Benoit. It's the only one. It's the only guy. I don't know. I mean, I know Edmonton has other wrestlers. I'm sure there's a bunch of guys, but like great Edmonton pro wrestlers. Are there any others? Oh, Gene Kiniski, Reg Parks, Glenn Kalka, Bobby Sharp. Okay. I know Reggie Parks, okay.
Was he one of the oddities?
Gene Kiniski is one of the greatest Canadian wrestlers of all time, old-time wrestler. Glenn Kalka was a CFL player turned pro wrestler. He had a brief run in WWE. He was like a Bret Hart project. Glenn Kalka, big Jack dude.
Okay.
He was from Edmonton too. But you see,
there's only one. I mean, Kiniski.
I mean, if you look at the Google images, it's like Kiniski, Reggie Parks, Glenn Kalka, Bobby Sharp, and Chris Benoit.
Yeah. And
really, yeah, Kiniski, I would say, but not the most famous today. When I think of Edmonton, I mean wrestling, I think of the Canadian Crippler, the Rabid Wolverine, the Terrible Murderer.
Yeah.
So yeah, the SmackDown was in Edmonton tonight.
Yes, it was.
Just every time I see Edmonton wrestling, I go, oh yeah. I was like, who are they gonna honor? Because Raw, apparently Monday Night Raw is gonna have Bret Hart on the show. Bret Hart, the Hitman, the excellence of execution, the best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be.
They used to ignore him on wrestling TV for much more petty reasons.
But he's gonna be on Raw.
Yeah.
In Calgary.
You probably like thank the fans.
I mean, I am excited because it's Bret Hart on wrestling TV. That's cool. Bret Hart is maybe going to be even in a WWE ring.
I could see maybe having a promo with Gunther. You know, Gunther's like, I'm the best now, you know?
Yeah, Bret could like back up Sami Zayn as like Canadian hero type of thing.
I know.
Ooh. Bret on Raw, brother. You're wearing your Bret shirt right now.
Of course, represent.
Sammy actually name dropped Bret in his promo on Raw this week, said his hero growing up, Bret the Hitman Hart, because he talked about all the great Intercontinental champions that went on to become world champions. Like all the legends, that's what happened. They were Intercontinental champion, then they became world champion.
Not all of them.
No, but a lot of the legends, like he said...
Shawn Michaels.
He said Shawn Michaels, he said Triple H, he said The Rock, he said Stone Cold Steve Austin, and I was like, say it. Say it, Sammy. And then he's like, and my hero, Bret the Hitman Hart. I was like, that's right, Sammy. That's right.
So he probably will be involved in the Sami
I think
Zayn,
so.
Because
makes sense.
Yeah, it feels like if he's the
yeah.
it's like it's purpose.
That's it. Well, once you said Gunther, I was like, ooh, Sammy did kind of say he is Canadian. He is feuding with Gunther a little bit right now. I think it's going to be Sammy Gunther at Bad Blood. Looks to be the match for the world title, which is cool. Sammy getting a title shot. Should be a good match. Sammy's the last man to beat Gunther.
That's true.
So there's that.
We were there at Raw when Bret Hart introduced Sami Zayn to wrestle John Cena. Sami Zayn injured his shoulder on the way to the ring.
Yes,
but still did the
still
match.
Quite a moment. Quite a match.
Yeah.
Quite a night. Bret
That
the
was
Hitman
a
Hart.
loud Bell Center.
Yes.
It was loud. People going crazy.
Mm-hmm. Getting that Bret Hart stamp of approval.
I believe that was the Pat Patterson Appreciation Night.
What a night that was. That was magical. Seeing Pat Patterson sing My Way in the Bell Center with Vince McMahon and Triple H there, like standing, loving it. Everybody. That was very cool. And that was a non-televised thing that was just for the crowd. That was magical.
I remember they had like...
I mean, in retrospect, I guess maybe they were all, whatever. But at the time, it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Wrestling history, no matter what.
Yeah. It was pretty cool. I remember just seemed like the show was over, and then Vince's music hit, and like.
Yeah, Vince wasn't even on the show, and all of a sudden he's
been,
there.
Like around for a while.
Mm-hmm. It was kind of nuts to see him.
Yeah, it was a pretty great time.
Vince. So what else happened on SmackDown tonight? We had Bayley defeating Tiffany Stratton after the Rose Plant. Nia Jax showed up, and Bayley did a dive on Nia, which upset her. Tiffany went for a backslide on Bayley and had her pinned, but Nia was so mad she was on the apron, which distracted the referee, so she couldn't count Tiffany pinning Bayley. Bayley then reversed the pinfall attempt after a 2 count when the referee finally did turn her back, and Bayley reversed it into her finisher, the Rose Plant, for the win on Tiffy Time. So continuous strife between the Tiffy Time Money in the Bank holder Tiffany Stratton and the women's champion Nia Jax on SmackDown. And of course, they had a little promo before. Pretty Deadly was featured for they said a couple lines and that was it. Not enough Pretty Deadly on SmackDown. Last week's SmackDown, 0 Pretty Deadly. Tonight's SmackDown, barely any Pretty Deadly. Not enough.
Yeah.
Not enough.
Match was all right. I enjoyed it.
Good
spots.
Mm-hmm.
Tiffany took a lot of bumps. She seems to do a lot of front drop kicks, and she lands pretty hard on her back doing them. And she kind of sometimes you could see the pain on her face afterwards. It's oh. But it was a good match. Bayley did this cool sort of vertical suplex. Tiffany was on the ground, Bayley was outside. And she kind of picked her up.
Yeah,
vertical suplex on the outside. I enjoyed that. Yeah, they have good chemistry.
Yeah,
I could see them having bigger matches down the road.
I like that Bayley got the win too. It's nice to see Bayley come back and get a win over Tiffany.
Yeah.
It's a big win for Bayley.
Yeah, she's not just on the way down.
Yeah, that's it. She's not just, taking a loss for Tiffany.
Yeah.
She's there. She's getting a win. She's still in the mix. She's probably going to get a title shot again at Nia Jax. Bad blood, that sounds like revenge time, right?
Mm-hmm. Nia Jax was in a Canadian tuxedo, all denim.
Oh, that's true. Maybe she was doing that in honor of Calgary or Edmonton, Canada.
Being in Canada, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I've never really done that, the all denim thing, but
I've rocked it.
That's a thing.
I've rocked it. The full denim suit, the jacket and pants, yeah, for sure. I had a Carl Kanai denim suit back in the early 2000s. It was like that's what Dr. Dre wore and stuff. So it was cool. Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg were cool in the early 2000s, and Eminem was wearing those denim suits. Big denim pants and the big denim jacket.
It's like fur lining, maybe.
No, just regular. Just jean jacket suit. Everybody wore that back in the days. But Nia Jax wore it was like a whole thing. It was a whole outfit she was wearing, and she was there tonight. Giovanni Vinci, speaking of outfits,
boy.
He couldn't get his jacket off.
Oh,
ew.
Took it off Rocco de Mayo.
And Apollo Crews just rolled him up. The match started, but Vinci was still taking off his jacket, so Crews just rolled him up with a crucifix pin. 1, 2, 3, and that was Giovanni Vinci's re-debut in the WWE with this new I'm Italian, I'm Giovanni Vinci gimmick that he's got. They've been airing vignettes for him for a few weeks, and he comes and he has this match and he loses just like that. It wasn't a match, so I don't think he's gonna be pushed that strong. Not at first, at least, right?
Yeah, his debut is Supreme Jobber.
Yeah.
That is how the audience shall perceive him. He is Supreme Jobber.
He lost to Apollo Crews, who loses to everybody.
He didn't even get to get his pants off. He wasn't even in his gear.
When Apollo Crews came out, I was like, oh, well,
yeah.
Vinci's obviously going to win this. He's been getting
just a
vignettes.
Showcase.
Yeah, this is just him to... And then I was like, nope, he's actually going to lose very quickly. I was like, oh, I guess they don't have big plans for this dude.
No.
That's funny. Oh, weird. And then, so Kevin Owens was backstage with Austin Theory and Grayson Waller, and they were kind of teasing him and saying mean things. And he's like, you guys aren't even a tag team. You don't like each other, and you're always you're always fighting and arguing. How about I take you both on in a triple threat, and we see how you guys get along? And Kevin's plan, you would think, right, would be like, oh, they would argue over who gets to pin Kevin Owens.
Yeah, that's how it usually goes.
Which is kind of a weird plan to have going into a match. Like, I'm going to get really beaten up, and they're going to argue over who gets to beat me, and that'll show them, It's like, what?
Yeah, we get hit in the face a few times.
Yeah,
that's my plan.
Yeah, I'm going to get beat to shit, and then when I'm down, I think they're going to argue over who gets to pin me. If they don't, then I'm fucked because I'm going to lose. But maybe they'll pile up on me. That would suck because then they'd both win. And then my plan would be just garbage. I'd get beaten up and they would get along and they'd be happy because they'd win. But that's not what happened at all. Not even close, which is weird. It's not like they didn't get along in the match. They got along fine. They just got beat up. They got beat up 2-on-1. Kevin Owens just proceeded to squash Austin Theory and Grayson Waller at the same time. These are former tag team champions. I'm not saying it was the wrong move because I like Kevin Owens in Rampage mode, just beating up everybody and looking strong and
fun.
Making these two guys look like the jabronis that they are. That's fine by me. I'm just saying it doesn't really add up given the booking of Waller and Theory. Theory is a guy who beat John Cena at WrestleMania. Theory and Waller are former tag team champions, and they're just getting beat down by Kevin Owens. What adds to the not making sense of this whole match and this whole fiasco, other than the fact that the premise of them not getting along never even came to fruition because they didn't even touch on it in the story of the match.
They never really double teamed them.
But they got beat by Kevin Owens easily, and then after the match, they finally figure out how to team up, and then they beat down Kevin Owens. It's like, you couldn't figure this out during the match?
And they shake hands and like, yeah,
we did it.
We lost, but we're winners?
They're idiots. They look so stupid, and this whole thing looks stupid, and you go, well, why couldn't you have figured this out 3 minutes ago when you were getting your asses kicked? How now are you able to beat this man down where he's dead basically on the floor? What just happened here? Did Kevin Owens like have an energy dump? Did he just...
Did he have a finisher stored?
Like, it just didn't make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Add to that they beat him up and they stood there and his supposed friend, Cody Rhodes, never came and helped him.
No. So is that going to be like a point of contention, I guess?
I think it might be. Because they said to Kevin, ooh, how come you weren't there helping Cody? How come you weren't his backup? How come it was DIY and Street Profits? And Kevin's like, don't worry about it. But now they beat Kevin down, and nobody's there to save Kevin. Nobody.
Book next week.
Kevin, and then to make it stupider, thank you.
Yeah.
Next week they booked Kevin and a mystery partner versus Theory and Waller in a tag team match, and they're like, "Ooh, next week how about we wrestle you in a tag match if you can find a partner?" Ha ha ha! And they're like, because Kevin Owens is a loser and no one is his friend,
and he's burned all his
and
bridges.
You won't find a partner. Also, Cody Rhodes is busy because he's defending the WWE Championship against Solo Sikoa in a steel cage match on SmackDown next week, which is pretty cool because it's the season premiere of SmackDown, and they're moving to the USA Network. So SmackDown's last night on Fox was tonight. They're going to the USA Network next week. USA Network, for a short time, from now until January, is going to have Raw and SmackDown. But then Raw is moving to Netflix in January. But so they're stacking the card next week. So they've got Cody versus Solo. So Cody's busy. He can't team with Kevin. But also the idea that Waller and Theory are like, 2-on-1 now, Kevin. What are you going to do? It's like he just beat you. It was a 2-on-1. It was a 2-on-1 match where you could both fight him at the same time with weapons. Now you think, you're going to do better in a match where there's tags, where you have to fight him one-on-one, one at a time? How does that play in your favor?
And someone else, presumably?
And he may have somebody else, he may not. But even if he doesn't have somebody else, even if they're right, and he's such a loser and no one likes him, that he has no friends and he has no tag partner, even if that is true, so what?
It doesn't make a difference.
He just beat them easily by himself in a triple threat. So all of that was stupid as hell.
Yeah.
All of it. And I think it's supposed to lead to something a little bit better with Kevin and Cody and some tension there, and you can see that in it. But the whole Waller and Theory thing is like, what the hell? This doesn't make sense. So that'll be a match next week.
So it passes for entertainment these days.
Yeah. So that's how they're stacking up SmackDown next week. They're doing Cody versus Solo for the belt in a steel cage. They're doing Kevin and a mystery partner versus Theory and Waller. And they're doing Carmelo Hayes versus Andrade in a final match in their best of 5. They're 2-2, so it is the final in the best of 5. And you would figure that maybe the winner of the best of 5 would get a title shot at LA Knight's U.S. title, because LA Knight cut a promo tonight, and then Carmelo Hayes interrupted him, and Andrade interrupted him, and then they both took LA Knight's finisher.
Yeah,
so I think they're starting something there. So I think whoever wins, either Carmelo or Andrade, either way.
Or they figure out a way to have them both.
Maybe both. Yeah. Triple threat would be fun too.
Yeah.
But then, I don't know. I don't think people are invested enough in the best of 5 where if we had a non-finish in the 5th match, I don't know if anyone would care.
Yeah.
I think you'd be like, if LA Knight came out, say, and just attacked both of them, I don't think it would really matter, because you could set up a triple threat and people would be like, yeah, whatever. Who's better, Andrade or Carmelo Hayes? Who cares? Again, who cares? No one cares about their whatever. They've been having some solid matches, but there's just nothing behind it.
Make them a tag team, give them the bar treatment.
They probably will.
That's how the bar started. It was
yeah, I remember.
Best of 7, and they're like, hey, how about we team?
Yeah. Yeah. Harold Schneider dropping the super chat. Thank you, Harold. #1 fan emoji. Look at that jumping emoji. That's nice. Thank you, everybody supporting over at join.ringsidereport.net or membership.ringsidereport.net. Forgot what it was. I was like, what is it? Not merch.ringsidereport.net. You can go there, too, and get some merch. Over at merch.ringsidereport.net, however you support the channel. Super Chat, membership. Harold Schneider, member of the team, dropping the Super Chat. Angelo Contagones, CSL Lorne in the chat as well. On a Friday night, we are live here at the home base of the Ringside Report Network. So that's pretty much what happened on SmackDown tonight.
Yeah, uneventful.
Really uneventful SmackDown. But I think it's one of those things where they're just gearing up for next week.
Yeah.
They're setting things up for next week because it's going to be a big
They didn't advertise any like big names like, hey, we'll have Undertaker or anything. They didn't say anything like that.
Nope. They're not doing that anymore. They're trying to rely on their talent and do big matches. You would think that season premiere, they might have advertised Roman Reigns, if anything.
Yeah.
But no Roman Reigns advertised. Does he appear to stop Solo, though, in the steel cage match?
I'm going to say no.
It's possible. You don't think so? Because Solo's still got his backup. I mean, maybe Cody can have his jabroni backup, DIY and Street Profits, but
it's pretty lame backup.
I think Randy Orton will probably show up next week on SmackDown. He's been on Raw for a while. I think it's time for him to go back to SmackDown. It'd be cool to see Roman. I'm really not sure when they bring back Roman. If it's not next week on SmackDown, then it'll probably be at that Bad Blood pay-per-view. If so, I mean, that's the thing too that I kind of just realized. Like, I was thinking it'd be Solo versus Cody at Bad Blood, but maybe not because Solo and Cody are wrestling next week on SmackDown
in a cage. So if they do it at Hell in a Cell, it's like not much of a different match.
Maybe they do a triple threat with Kevin Owens, or maybe Roman actually wrestles
in a cell.
I doubt they do Solo versus Roman then, but maybe. It'll be interesting to see what they do there for that Atlanta show. Because they do also have the Crown Jewel a month later. They're going to stack that a little bit. You know, they have to in Saudi Arabia. Interesting. It's interesting that they booked Solo versus Cody for the belt in a match.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, if they're doing this here on SmackDown, are they going to do it again?
They got something else.
Are they going to do it again at the PLE, or do they have something else?
Maybe Jacob Fatu.
Like, he's been booked strong, but it's not as big of a match as even Solo versus Cody.
But they do that sometimes, like guys they feel really high on. They'll give them like, hey, this guy who's like an enforcer now is like in a championship match. Like they've done that with, they did that with Batista before. They gave him the run. Roman also. They tried Big Cass, I think, in like a championship kind of like, he's in like a 6-man thing.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, maybe. What if Big Cass? So maybe they're going to see how the audience reacts to it.
It's not great.
No, but could work out. You never
know. We'll see what they do. But I don't know. I think they might do some sort of non-finish with Cody and Solo next week, and then set up a rematch for Bad Blood.
You gotta have a finish in a steel cage, so probably Cody wins somehow.
Yeah, but I could see a lot of shenanigans. Like, I could see Bloodline getting involved. I could see other people getting involved. I could see everybody down at the end of the show, maybe. I could see Cody winning, but not. Yeah, steel cage, you do kind of need a finish, but I don't know. Maybe you don't. But I would think Cody would walk out as champion. He's not losing next week on SmackDown.
No, God, no. That would be too much.
Last time they had a season premiere on a new network, it was Fox. And Brock Lesnar beat Kofi Kingston for the WWE Championship on the premiere show.
God. That feels like forever ago.
But it happened. It did happen. Over on Raw this week, Drew McIntyre broke the CM Punk bracelet, as I mentioned. Sami Zayn cut a promo with Gunther. It looks like Sami Gunther is coming up next. Solid promo from Sami and Gunther. Gunther's been a great world champion. Jey Uso and Damian Priest beat Finn Balor and JD McDonuts in the main event of Raw this week with a little help from Rhea Ripley, who took out Liv Morgan. Finn and JD are the tag team champions, and they just took a clean loss in a tag team match. Non-title, but still. Kofi Kingston earlier in the show was backstage asking Adam Pearce for a tag team title shot for him and Xavier Woods. No mention of Odyssey Jones, of course, because he's been released by the WWE amid domestic violence allegations for big Odyssey Jones. So that's it. You'll never hear from him again.
Yeah.
He is persona non grata in the WWE. They have forgotten that they're doing this whole angle with him.
And the New Day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he is just fired. He's gone.
Well, these guys named Jones, they bring him in.
Problems.
Nathan Jones,
Yep.
doesn't work out.
I don't know. I hadn't seen much from him. I don't know if it's a big loss for WWE or not. But, if he's that type of guy, good riddance. Goodbye.
Yeah.
Bye-bye. But that's it. WWE has to cut that whole story with the New Day and Kofi and Woods and all of that. It's like it never happened. And then, maybe they'll go on to the Tag Team Championship. I think that's the move. I think you just kind of go, sorry, guys. Sorry we did all this. We're going to push you and give you the belts now for a bit.
So everyone kind of forgets it and just like, hey, it's the New Day. We're throwing pancakes into the crowd again.
We can beat the Judgment Day on any given night.
Yeah.
I think, that should be what's going on. Pete Dunne, Ilya Dragunov, Jey Uso, and Braun Strowman will have a fatal four-way on Raw Monday night for an Intercontinental title shot at Braun Breaker. They've been doing like a tournament, multiple three-way matches, and then the winners of the triple threat matches have qualified for this four-way match, and then the winner of this four-way match will get a title shot at Braun Breaker, maybe on Raw, maybe at Bad Blood. It's not clear. So that's what's happening on Raw Monday. They also have a Wyatt 6 versus American-made 8-person mixed tag street fight set for Raw on Monday. So it'll be Gable,
the Creed brothers,
Sherry
Niles,
and Ivy Niles, Ivy Sherry Niles versus some of the Wyatts.
Dexter Lumis.
Three male Wyatts. I don't know which ones they'll pick. I think they have like 4, no?
There's Bo, Dexter Lumis, Rowan.
Yeah.
And another guy.
And the other guy. I think it'll be not Uncle Howdy Bo Dallas.
Yeah, he's like...
It'll be the 3 Goons and Nikki Cross.
Yeah.
Against the 4 of them. It'll be an 8-person mixed tag street fight. The Wyatt 6. And Isla Dawn, the former champions, getting a rematch against the new champions, Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill, for the Women's Tag Team Championship. All coming up Raw Monday night in Calgary. They've also advertised, I don't know if they've advertised, but the word is Bret the Hitman Hart will be there, and I think Natty Neidhart will also be back on TV wrestling some sort of match. Helping Lyra, Valkyria, and some other babyface
against the
to take out the evil what's her
collective?
Yeah, the
the Atomic
Drop Collective.
It's the something collective, something Force Collective. Laser Force?
It's fucking stupid, whatever it is.
The Laser Force Collective.
The Sonya Deville group there with the people, Shayna and the whatever. It is stupid.
The Jabroni Collective.
The Jabroni Collective. I think Natty's going to wrestle them on Raw.
Good for
Monday night. Braun Strowman won a triple threat match to qualify for this 4-way Intercontinental title shot match. He wasn't supposed to be in the triple threat match.
Oh, Bronson Reed got COVID.
Bronson Reed got COVID. And it really made me wonder, like, ooh, this is happening again? Like, guys are getting COVID and they're, like, being pulled from shows? I haven't heard this in a while.
Yeah, it's true.
It made me a little worried. I was like, whoa, what is this?
Reminded me of old times.
Yeah, I don't like this. Guys are getting pulled from shows because of COVID now? Is this a thing we're doing again? I didn't know this was still a thing. It's a little worrisome. So, Yeah, I didn't like that.
It's kind of surprising you don't know how much they're on the road that you don't hear about this more often.
Yeah, well, that's it. Like, I didn't know it was still really that big of an issue. Like, I know COVID still exists, but I thought, like, it was okay now. Yeah. I thought we were kind of over it.
In some places.
Apparently, we're not over it because Bronson Reed had to get taken off the thing. Pure Fusion Collective. Thank you, Angelo.
Fusion.
Pure Fusion. So much fusion, bro. Jeez, brother. All right,
Seriously.
so that's all the things going on in WWE world. You know, that's the WWE in a nutshell. It's a good wrestling company. I like it.
Yeah,
I like it. It's fun. It's mostly weird, but it's fun to watch. If you like pro wrestling, I like pro wrestling. AEW gives me a lot of good pro wrestling. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about what's going on for AEW All Out. Tremendous promo to close Dynamite this week. Earlier in the show, we saw Swerve Strickland, who was so happy there with Prince Nana. He had purchased his family's childhood home, the home that they were evicted from because they didn't pay for it or whatever. He was able to come back and buy it back, and it was a great moment for Swerve. Then at the end of the show, you see Hangman. Hangman is not in the ring for a contract signing where Swerve is. He's like, I'm not showing up for that. This match is going to happen. We both know it, so I don't need to show up for that. And then he cuts this promo, this sadistic, evil promo on Swerve as he's pouring gasoline all over the house. And then he lights it and sits down in a chair. And he cuts just a vicious promo on Swerve talking about how his fiance wants nothing to do with him and he doesn't see his kids and all sorts of stuff. It was pretty rough. How his father didn't love him, how his mother was disappointed in him. Like, it was mean promo.
Yeah.
And then he burnt down the house. Burned it down. Pure arson. The crowd even chanted, "This is arson," which is a great chant.
That's pretty good.
And drank a beer. As he sat there in front of the burning house and Swerve in the ring just going nuts. No, why? Like losing it.
Why
Yeah.
me?
Yeah, it was pretty good. And like Swerve's reaction, it was over the top, but it was kind of like, yeah, I mean, I get it. He can't believe, like, that would be a reaction. I could see a person reacting that way. It wasn't like he was like really upset, but you would be. Yeah. So, yeah, okay. It was pretty good. They burnt a house down. They burnt a house down. I don't know the story with that house. I don't know if it was really Swerve's house. I don't know how they got the house. I don't know if it was on a set. I don't know what they did. But they had a thing that looked like a house, and they burnt that shit to the ground.
Yeah, it's a good thing he was able to get it done in one take. I'm sure they were like, "Now, Adam, make sure you know your lines."
Yeah, I don't think it was.
Spots,
I don't think it was CGI.
You only have this one spot.
I'm pretty sure it was real. Like that's a pretty big.
CG fire looks kind of fake and.
Yeah, it looked real as hell, and like, but that's a pretty big thing to do for a wrestling promo.
Yeah,
like that's a lot of money to invest in a wrestling promo. But by God, was it impressive. I just wonder how much they spent on it. I wonder how it was all done, like the production and everything. Like, what was that house? Where was that really? What was really going on?
Were there secret kind of pipes, like shooting up flames?
Yeah, that's it. Like, was it just a controlled demolition? Is it just a house that you can light on fire on a set somewhere?
Yeah.
You know, that's probably what it is, I would guess.
I've seen that with the gas lining and like.
Yeah, I mean,
you can control it where like it doesn't go crazy and all over the place and spreading.
Yeah, because Hangman is also sitting in front of there, so it's got to be safe enough.
Yeah,
that
make sure he's not covered in gasoline and he doesn't get set on fire.
Yeah, well, that's it. He's not really pouring the gasoline that's lighting the house on fire.
Yeah,
like there's no way, because if that would happen, it would be way too dangerous. Like they can't do that for many, many reasons. I just wonder how they pulled it all off with that house on fire thing. But no matter how they did it, behind the scenes and all of that. It was a really, it was a good promo, and it was a great way to go into this match, which is now unsanctioned by AEW. It's lights out, which means it doesn't count on their record. The win or the loss does not count. It is Swerve Strickland. It is Hangman Page. It is Steel Cage match, brother. Tomorrow night, AEW All Out. I'll be here right after. We'll both be here right after AEW All Out to cover the action for you. And I do believe that Swerve versus Hangman will be the main event, despite the fact that they are not the world title match. It's a lights out match. Usually the lights out matches are at the end of the show because it's like, okay, we've done the AEW show. Now it's lights out. We're not sanctioning this. This is just crazy.
Warzone.
Whose cage is that? Who lowered it?
Not me.
Somebody. Hangman. It was Hangman who did it. It's like, okay.
It's all his expense.
Prince Nana was in control.
He's pulling the strings.
Yeah. Pulling the string like this.
Oh, he's fantastic.
Pulling the string, why not die? You know.
But yeah, but I mean, like nobody's expecting Jack Perry to beat Bryan Danielson, so it doesn't need to be the main event.
Yeah, exactly. No one's expecting Jack Perry to beat Bryan Danielson. I hope he gives him a good match. I think he will. Bryan Danielson doesn't have a bad match. I think it'll be fantastic. Maybe match of the night. But let's stick with Swerve and Hangman here for a second. Steel Cage. I think Hangman wins this one. I think this is where Hangman turns it around and beats Swerve.
Yeah, I could see that company.
It's going to be violent.
Yeah.
I think they will both be bleeding.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty gory.
I can't wait. These guys are great together. They're magical. They're like AEW's version of The Rock and Steve Austin. Great chemistry, great promos. They're great. Got Hangman winning. You're going with Hangman too?
Yeah.
The Hanger getting his revenge. Like he's turning tables. I think what's really interesting about what's happening with Hangman now is that Swerve at first was a heel and he was doing evil things to Hangman, and it kind of turned Swerve babyface, and it kind of turned Hangman heel in a way.
Mm-hmm.
And now Hangman is starting to do the really evil things to Swerve, and Swerve is like reacting in a babyface way. And I think it's starting to turn back, where Hangman is going to turn into the babyface and Swerve is going to turn back into the heel by doing heelish tactics. Hangman will actually turn into this ultimate evil babyface.
So the audience just seems to like guys who do like the more sadistic things.
Yeah, the sickest dude is who we're looking for. I mean, this is an audience who loves Jon Moxley.
Yeah.
He's like the sadistic, I'm going to rip your face, you know? Jon Moxley.
Did I hear something right? Or I don't know if it was like making fun of AEW that they're going to like try to have like enforce better hygiene in the audience.
What? I didn't hear that.
Like if you're
That's got to be a joke.
Stinky, they'll kick you out.
That's got to be a joke.
Yeah.
But, I mean.
But like, you know,
might
sounds like it could be true.
Could be true. Could be true. Although I went to an AEW show.
Yeah.
I went to 2 AEW shows.
Well, I mean, the
fine.
Collision show was not that well attended. You know, if it was like a packed house, maybe.
Yeah, we had a lot of breathing room.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know about Dynamite, but
Dynamite, yeah, there was also kind of a lot of breathing room.
yeah.
Bell Center is well ventilated too. Some of these other arenas they go to might not, you know,
yeah,
in the South,
Greensboro,
where it's hot.
Yeah.
And it's a smaller arena and it's not as nice as a Bell Center. It could probably get rank in there. Yeah, I could see where people go, all right, boys, wash up, you stinky animals.
Wash your helmet.
You just crawled out of your mom's basement to attend this wrestling show. Take a shower before you leave the house.
Covered in Cheetos.
My God, some of these people, it is rough. It is rough, but I don't know if that's real. I can't believe that that's real. Bryan Danielson's going to beat Jack Perry, of course. He just won the title a week and a half ago. There's no way he loses to Jack Perry. Bryan Danielson is the best wrestler in the world today. He's the man. No one better. Who else is on this card? Mercedes Moné defending her championship, the TBS title, against Hikaru Shida. With Camille banned from ringside. Mercedes cut a promo in the ring this week, and Hikaru Shida was on the big screen, and she did her promo in English, and then Christopher Daniels appeared next to Shida and told Mercedes that Camille was banned from ringside. So Mercedes doesn't have backup for this match against Shida. I don't think it matters, though. I don't think Mercedes is losing to Shida here. I think Mercedes wins and retains the TBS title. Unless something happened between Britt and Mercedes that we're unaware of.
And there's heat on Mercedes?
And there's also heat on Mercedes, and she's going to drop the belt here. Because the fact that they banned Camille from ringside for, Shida didn't win a match or do anything to get that to happen. It was just Christopher Daniels going, ooh, Camille's bad, and she's banned from ringside. But, when do they ever do that?
Yeah, usually it's like the ref will kick her out, after she tries to, do some shenanigans.
Yeah.
So you think they're trying to they're kind of gaming the ref, so they're kind of, priming the pump?
Setting it up where it's like, okay, we're going to...
Because Shida is a plausible...
Maybe they're suspending Mercedes. They're taking the belt off of her. And to cushion the blow, to have Mercedes lose but not like lose face, it's like, okay, she's not going to have her manager there, so she won't have backup. If she did have backup, she'd probably win. There may be something like that going on, but I don't know. I don't think so. I think Mercedes just beat Shida straight up. But the loss of Camille going into the match made me wonder, like, why are they doing this now? Because it's not like she's had Camille for like 10 or 12 matches.
No, it's pretty new.
It was one match against Britt Baker, who they're not talking about. Maybe a couple matches using Camille as a backup, and now all of a sudden she's banned from ringside for no reason?
Yeah.
It was weird. It's a weird stipulation that got added that made me question, like, what's happening.
And Shida is a wrestler that, like, if they just want to, like, put the belt on her.
On somebody safe for their company.
Yeah.
It would be
she's
Shida.
Not going to rock any boat. She's, you know, she's not the most exciting, but, you know, she's dependable.
She's a solid AEW original.
Yeah.
Who they've put the belt on countless times. And her beating Mercedes.
It would be a big, like, the crowd would probably like it.
It wouldn't be a huge upset.
No.
Like, it would be an upset, I think, because of how early Mercedes is in her run in AEW and in her title run. But Shida's been booked pretty strong in AEW. She could beat any champion on any given night, and you go, oh, they gave another belt to Shida. Oh,
yeah, all right. Sure.
And she's cutting English promos now.
Yeah.
Which was like, oh, she does that now?
That's true. It was one of her disadvantages.
They gave her promo time, and she cut a promo in English. It may have been pre-taped because it was on the video screen and not live in the ring where Mercedes was, but still.
Big difference.
So that promo segment made me go, okay. Que pasa? What's happening over here?
Adds a little more interest in the match.
Yeah. I'm still going with Mercedes to win. I think that's a safe bet, but I don't know. It's interesting. I'm interested in this match now with Shida. And maybe that's also the reason why they banned Camille, because if Camille's there and you go, oh, well, for sure Sasha Banks is going to win, but if Camille's not there, you go, ooh, can she win without her? Maybe they're going to give it to Shida. Maybe that's why Camille was banned from ringside. There could be some of that going on, too, some of the gamesmanship on the booking standpoint. MJF, Daniel Garcia cut a hell of a promo on each other this week. You didn't see that?
No, I missed it.
Daniel Garcia said some pretty mean things about MJF. He said that everything is fake about him. He says that MJF wears makeup to cover up his acne. He says that he went to Turkey and got a hair transplant that didn't even work. He said that he's going to break MJF's neck. And he says that he hopes that MJF can find a woman who can pretend to love him for more than a year so that he can go and get married and have kids, and his kids can ask him, hey, Dad, didn't you used to wrestle? He said that ugly kid that you have, he can ask you, hey, didn't you used to wrestle? And then you can say, yes, I used to wrestle, but Daniel Garcia ended my career and took it from me. It was like a vicious promo from Daniel Garcia that went very hard in an MJF style. Like, he did a kind of MJF style promo back at him. MJF said some mean stuff to Daniel Garcia as well, brought up his mother, which made Daniel Garcia mad, and he went up to try and fight MJF, but it didn't work. MJF was ready with a wine bottle, and he smashed Daniel Garcia in the face, and he was unconscious, and he told him, like, he's going to beat him at All Out, and he's going to end his career. Everything. So it's pretty good.
MJF's putting on makeup to cover his acne. I mean, like, doesn't do that good of a job, at least on his back. It's pretty.
I think that's what Garcia was talking about.
I think he was making a reference, like, because, you know, back knee, you know. It's
all I know is that
I don't want to make any statements, anything on the air here.
MJF has been looking real jacked lately.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
And he said, I just do cardio in the mornings, you know, I do a lot of, you know, it's like, but, you know.
I mean,
you know, he's probably doing a lot, but, you know.
Maybe he is on steroids. I don't care. Yeah. He could be on steroids for all he wants to be. He's a pro wrestler. He's not competing. He's not hurting anybody being on steroids. If anything, he may be helping by being on steroids because he's stronger and more durable. And, you know, it's probably not a bad thing for pro wrestlers to do steroids in a controlled environment under the supervision of medical professionals.
Which they probably aren't in AEW.
Some of them are, some of them aren't. Depends who has the money to do it or not. MJF got paid. He's not stupid. So
A hair transplant.
hair transplant is interesting. Just the hair transplant in Turkey thing, you go, what?
Turkey.
What was that? I never heard that about MJF.
It's quite specific.
For him to drop that in a promo, you go, whew. And MJF even said like easy. He was kind of like the mic was like over here, but you could hear MJF go like easy. Like he had the mic in his lap, you know. It was it was a good promo.
I don't remember MJF having like a receding hairline and did he? In like the Wardlow days?
Little bit.
Because I mean like that little like poof
not
that like kind
receding,
of came up when he came back, the little poof.
But like up here it was I noticed it start to thin, and when Garcia said that about the hair, I looked at his hair and it looked really thick up there, and I was like, oh, it is a little thicker than it used to be, isn't it? Oh, wait a second. Is that true? Did he really? Like, when he said that, I was like, oh, shit. And the whole audience, I think a lot of the audience was like, oh, yeah, he's kind of thinning at one point, and now he's a little thicker. If your hair is thinning, you don't all of a sudden make it real thicker. It doesn't.
You get plugs.
That doesn't work. Like, that doesn't occur in humanity, I don't think. So.
A lot of famous people get hair transplants, plugs.
Yeah. But I think it's unnecessary,
man.
Man.
A picture of Joe Biden from 1992.
Maybe that's what MJF is looking for, and that's fine. But, the most successful pro wrestler, the two most successful pro wrestlers of all time were bald. One rocked the skullet. One just went straight up bald. Hulk Hogan, Stone Cold Steve Austin, brother, they didn't need hair to get over and draw money. No hair on those guys on their heads.
Yeah, I remember thinking that about Hogan back in the day, thinking like, oh, this guy kind of looks like an old man, but like, I'm cheering for this guy. I love this guy, but like, even in the 80s, he had like this.
He was like the most jacked guy. He was like an abnormal looking fellow. You know? Because of the mustache and the hair that he did have was like such an odd color.
Yeah.
Combined with the color of his skin, which is also an odd color.
His tights were yellow.
And his tights were yellow, and the yellow and the red in the contrast with his orange skin and his bright yellow hair and mustache. Strategic. And the giant muscles and everything going on. Like, it was quite a look that didn't look exactly human. Like, no other humans look like Hulk Hogan, which was part of the appeal of Hulk Hogan, was that he looked larger than life because you'd never seen a person look like that.
Oh, it was like a giant anthropomorphized hot dog man.
Yeah, but more muscly than a hot dog. If you tell me about a hot dog man, I would think he's like not as jacked.
Like, a jacked hot dog man.
Hogan looks like a jacked hot dog. Yeah. A little bit. He's like a muscular hot dog. Yeah. Yeah, he's pretty cool. Who doesn't want to be a muscular hot dog? Apparently MJF, he just wants to have hair. So he's going to wrestle Daniel Garcia. I'm not sure. I think MJF is probably going to win. But they might give this one to Garcia.
He did sign a new contract.
MJF? Or Garcia?
Garcia did.
Oh, yeah.
So maybe
they do have high hopes for this guy. Maybe this is the big win that he gets.
Yeah,
it's not like MJF isn't a champion or anything. It's not really a big loss.
He just had a big match against Will Ospreay, so they could say he's a little beat up.
Yeah, I'm gonna say Garcia does win this match.
I'll say MJF, but I could see it being Garcia.
I'm gonna go with Garcia, getting a little revenge. How about this one? It's a fatal 4-way match for the AEW Continental Championship. Hey, let me ask you something. Rank these belts in order of importance. See if you can.
By how the show perceives them?
No, yeah, sure. How AEW perceives them, how the audience perceives them. Just rank the belts. Because I was thinking about this while watching Dynamite, thinking, God damn, they have a lot of belts. And it's not just a lot of belts. They're all mid-card belts, and I don't know what's more important. So, the Continental Championship, the International Championship, and the TNT Championship. How do they rank? Okada.
The Continental used to be like the Mid-Atlantic or the Atlantic.
I don't know what the Continental used to be the.
It was Atlantic something, wasn't it?
Something, yeah, but they changed it because it was really bad.
Yeah.
No, but no, isn't that the International?
Or is that the yeah? See, that's the thing. Like the
the Continental was that thing that Eddie Kingston won in like a tournament. It
oh,
was
in Japan.
No, it was in AEW, the Continental Classic.
Oh fuck yeah!
Right. And Eddie Kingston won, and it was like the Ring of Honor belt was tied into it, and then it wasn't, and then it was just a regular championship, and then Eddie Kingston lost the belt to Okada.
Okay.
That's the lineage of the Continental Championship, which is not great.
So I say international?
I think the TNT title is more important, but I don't know if it is right now because the TNT champion is...
Jericho?
No.
No, Hook.
No. That's the FTW title.
Oh,
That's the FTW title. Hook regained the FTW title.
God damn, that's a lot of belts.
The TNT champion. Now I'm struggling to figure out who the TNT champion is.
It's
fuck, man.
Orange?
No, it's Jungle Boy.
Oh, it's Jungle Boy.
Yeah, it's Jack Perry.
You want a ladder match?
I forget. Yeah, he won the ladder match, didn't he?
And
because
like a bunch of guys.
Well, wasn't Christian? No, Edge was the champion.
Right.
He dropped it because he got hurt. Jungle Boy won it in a ladder match.
Okay.
Jungle Boy is a TNT champion. That title has a longer history in AEW. I would say it's worth more, but because Jungle Boy is holding it currently, and because Okada's holding the Continental Championship, but then Will Ospreay is holding the International Championship, so, Okada, Ospreay, they're both pretty big. It's hard to rank what belt means more.
Yeah.
And then you have the world title, which is there. That's Bryan Danielson. That means the most.
It depends who's holding it, I guess.
I think it depends who's holding those mid-card belts.
Yeah.
But the fact they have 3 of them is absurd. It's ridiculous.
They really the Continental and the International Championship should merge to be the Intercontinental Champion.
I agree. Inter-Continental, not the Intercontinental.
Yes,
it's
that's
not
copyrighted.
It's not like WWE. This is different. It's Inter-Continental because we merged the International and the Continental, so it's Intercontinental. But even WWE, like they have one, like for the men's side, they got the world belt, Intercontinental, and that's it. Like on SmackDown, it's the world belt, U.S. title. That's it. They got a set of tag belts on each. Like AEW, you have International, TNT title, Continental title, and the FTW title that gets defended too. Like Jericho had a whole run with that, and now Hook's got it back. Like they have like 4 mid-card belts. It's completely unnecessary. And sometimes they add the Ring of Honor world title too into the mix. And you're like, what is going on here? Everybody's a champion in AEW. Okada, I think, is going to retain the Continental Championship. Although, if he were to drop it, it would probably be in a match like this where he doesn't have to get pinned.
Yeah, he better not take the pinfall.
No, he won't. He barely beat Kyle Fletcher on Dynamite this week. I don't like how Okada's being booked in AEW, where he has like a time limit draw with Claudio Castagnoli. He can't beat him. He barely beats Kyle Fletcher. There was 1 minute remaining in their 20-minute time limit match. He pushed Kyle Fletcher for a Rainmaker, and Fletcher kind of bumped into the referee. Okada kicked Fletcher in the balls and then hit the Rainmaker and then beat him. But like he cheated and barely beat him under the time limit. And you go, this is Kazuchika Okada, man. He should be beating this guy in 10 minutes. But the way they book him, it's like he's a mid-carder for some reason.
It's not good.
I don't know why. They paid him tons of money, too, to come over. He's a world championship
He's part
level.
of the elite, and like the Young Bucks are booked pretty strong.
Yeah, they're booked stronger than Okada.
Yeah, but like...
They brought Okada over so they could be booked stronger and kind of...
And like have
it makes
be
no
up
sense.
on him.
I mean, they're paying him, but the way he's booked is ridiculous.
He's in a golden cage.
Like, he's in this mid-card match here against Mark Briscoe, Orange Cassidy, and Konosuke Takeshita. A 4-way for his Continental Championship. I hope Okada retains because I don't want to see Okada lose anything. I think Okada needs to hold the Continental Championship forever so it has some meaning. Like, give the belt some sort of identity by making Okada the guy with the belt. You give Okada like a championship to always hold, so he's always looking strong, and then you give the Continental Championship some sort of purpose.
Yeah, Guntherite it.
Yeah, I don't think you need to put it on Takeshita. I think if anybody's going to win, it would be Takeshita because they do like to push this guy, but I don't know. He might take it. I could see Takeshita taking it. I really hope they don't give it to Orange, but man, they love giving shit to Orange. Right? They always do. But I think Okada retains. I'm going with the Rainmaker.
It's not going to be Mark Briscoe.
It might be. Honestly.
He's over.
You never know with AEW. They do weird shit. And in a four-way here, like Okada's held the belt for a little while. In a four-way, he could drop it to any number of these guys.
Car crash.
Yeah, it could be any of these guys, honestly. If I had to bet on Okada dropping it to somebody, it would be Takeshita. But I'm going to go with Okada retaining.
Yeah, I'm going with Okada winning because I hope so.
Although, hang on a minute.
Oh, yeah?
I think we need a title change on this card because right now there are none.
Or maybe Shida.
Maybe Shida. Where's the title change? Say there's one. Because every pay-per-view, you got to give us one title change, right? Say there's a title change. I don't think Ospreay's dropping the international title to Pac.
No.
Danielson's not dropping a world title to Jack Perry.
No.
Mercedes may drop her belt to Shida, and Okada may drop his belt in the four-way. Those are the title matches.
Yeah.
I think Okada's dropping the belt in the four-way. I think Takeshita's going to take it. I think Takeshita is the new Continental Champion.
Yeah. I mean, maybe. It's true. It's just the fact that they had all in 2 weeks ago. It just, I don't know. Everything just feels so bunched up and just like they're gonna have and that was the big payoff show. Now they're having some more payoffs. It's just all right. I guess it's just strange timing.
Yeah, it's a weird way to do it, but they do have a few matches on this that I'm interested in. Like Bryan Danielson's first world title defense. I'm down to see that. Yeah. It's not drawing me in. I'm drawn in by the Hangman Swerve match. Lights out steel cage.
Yeah, that's the big draw.
But also,
Ospreay versus Pac could be pretty good.
Ospreay and Pac.
That could be pretty crazy.
That's the other match on this one that I'm really looking forward to. Those two matches are solid. The rest, it's whatever. It is what it is. So I got Okada dropping the belt to Takeshita.
I got Okada retaining. Just
okay.
Because.
Willow Nightingale versus Chris Statlander in a Chicago street fight.
I'll say Chris Statlander.
This feud's been going on forever. I'm going to go with Statlander too.
Willow won the last one.
She won like a match to determine the stipulation, and I think it's going to backfire on her, and Statlander will win. She's got Stokely Hathaway in her corner. There's going to be some trickery and tomfoolery, and I believe that Chris Statlander will get the victory over Willow in Chicago. Young Bucks, Matthew and Nicholas Jackson, AEW Tag Team Champions, defending against Claudio Castagnoli and Wheeler Utah, representing the Blackpool Combat Club. Bucks aren't dropping it here.
No.
Come on now.
Are the Blackpool the trios champions?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, they're not becoming the tag team champions either.
No.
Yeah, not Wheeler.
No, they're not going to become – it's not going to be Wheeler and Claudio.
Cesaro, yeah.
They're not taking the tag team belts off the Bucks. This is a match that doesn't need to be on this pay-per-view. I don't understand why it is.
This is a Dynamite match.
Yeah, it's unnecessary. I don't know why they're having this on this show.
And it's probably going to be like 18 minutes or something. It's going to be a long time.
Young Bucks at All In defended their belts in a triple threat match against the Acclaimed and FTR. And now, a week and a half later, they give us this?
Yeah, take a break.
We had Acclaimed and FTR in a triple threat. That's a big match. This is not. No disrespect to Claudio and Wheeler. They just haven't been a tag team in AEW that you can look at and go, oh, these guys are winning a lot of matches. These guys are a tag team that I recognize. They're just two members of a group.
Yeah, who are on ROH a lot of the time.
Yeah. I don't understand why this happened. And it's like them, they're just like the other guys with Pac right now is the Trios champions. They're in the Blackpool Combat Club, but it seems like they're the only two guys still left in the Blackpool Combat Club.
Is Moxley part of it?
John Moxley is seemingly starting his own group. He's got Marina Shafir, and then he cut a promo on Dynamite this week telling Darby Allin that he wants to talk.
Yeah.
So I think maybe he wants to bring Darby Allin into some sort of group. He's starting something new. He's not affiliated with the Blackpool Combat Club anymore. I think it's going to all come to a head at some point where Moxley wrestles Bryan Danielson for the title. But we're not there yet. I don't think we're anywhere close to being there yet. But Moxley's starting his own thing. Bryan Danielson, he's still with the Blackpool Combat Club. Like, they had a match, a trios match on Dynamite this week, and Danielson was on commentary. So he's still with them, but he's kind of not.
Yeah, he's on his own sort of storyline right now. It's like singular.
So the Blackpool Combat Club, I guess, is Wheeler Yuta and Claudio Castagnoli.
Blackpool.
Yeah, which is weird.
Regal.
Yeah. I mean, at least Claudio's European.
Yeah.
You know? He's the closest to Blackpool in that group.
Someone new must be like, why are they called Blackpool? I don't get it.
It doesn't matter. They probably think it's some sort of pool.
Yeah.
With like black water or something. I don't know. But the Bucks are going to beat these guys. And then we have the match for the International Championship, Will Ospreay versus Pac. They wrestled a bit in a trios match. It was Ospreay and Orange and somebody else.
Yeah.
Some other guy.
Mark Briscoe?
I think it was Mark Briscoe. Yes, it was Mark Briscoe. And they, but it was Ospreay there with Pac, and they're going to wrestle one-on-one, and that should be fantastic. Two guys, very athletic, lots of flippy shit.
Couple of Brits.
Yeah. I'm kind of surprised they didn't do this match at All In, but I guess, he had to do that match with MJF, so makes sense. But in England, would have been cool. Mm-hmm. But they're doing it here in Chicago, and the match is going to be awesome. Awesome. Surprised they didn't fit Ricochet on this pay-per-view.
Yeah. Welcome to AEW.
Mm-hmm.
Nice way of showcasing new talent.
He wasn't even on Dynamite this week. He was on Dynamite last week, his first week in AEW. He wasn't on the show this week.
I saw him in Botchamania.
Oh, did he botch some
stuff? He made Botchamania, yeah. And Jamie Hayter, also a returning wrestler.
Not on the pay-per-view,
Did she wrestle on Dynamite?
She did wrestle on Dynamite, and, she's feuding with Saraya.
Yeah.
And that match is going to happen at some point, but maybe on a big Dynamite show, Could happen on a big Dynamite show. They have that big show in New York in September. Grand Slam, right? At the Arthur Ashe Tennis Stadium. I could see the match taking place there.
It could be.
Hayter versus Saraya. They're also doing Darby versus, likely Bryan Danielson for the world title. Darby's got a world title match for Grand Slam. And I think it'll be Darby Danielson, which will be
pretty crazy.
Pretty sick. So that's coming up in AEW. AEW All Out tomorrow night, live on pay-per-view in Chicago. We will be on right after AEW's All Out to recap the action, to give you our review, score on 10 for the pay-per-view match of the night, and all of that good stuff that we do here on the post shows for all the pay-per-views on the Ringside Report Network. What's your prediction for match of the night?
Tomorrow?
Yeah. What do you think will be the show stealer? Yeah, I think so too.
It's a lights out.
Okay, outside of that.
Lights out are usually like
no. I'm gonna make it harder for you. I'm gonna make it harder because if you say outside
of Ospreay Pac,
outside of Ospreay Pac and Swerve and Hangman, what is gonna be the best match that we see?
I'll say Danielson Perry.
Yeah, I'd have to go with Bryan Danielson too.
Okay, outside of that,
MJF and Daniel Garcia, I think.
Yeah. Because I guess the four-way won't be given a lot of time.
Yeah. I don't have high hopes for Mercedes and Sheeta. I don't have high hopes for the Okada four-way.
Willow and Statlander could be kind of like hard. It's a street fight.
That could surprise me. The Young Bucks match, I don't have high hopes for.
It's just whatever.
Yeah. But Ospreay Pac, MJF Garcia, Danielson Perry, and Swerve and Hangman, I'm looking forward to match-wise. But, Mercedes and Sheeta, because of the result being kind of up in the air, I'm interested in that match. It'll have my attention. And also the four-way with Okada, because of what we've said here, where he might lose the belt, I'm interested in that. So when you break it all down, I'm interested in all the matches on this card, except Willow versus Statlander and the Bucks versus Wheeler and Claudio, because I'm just like,
hopefully that match
like Willow
is
and Statlander, like I think they'll have a good match and everything, but their feud has been going on for so long that I'm kind of like, why have we paid this off yet? Like, we're still doing this? It's just been going on for too long. Like, they've been feuding forever now. It's like, all right, I thought we settled this a long time ago. Why are we still here? Move on. So, I'm not super hyped about that. I think the match will be good, but the feud has just kind of lost its heat, I feel. Anyhow, AJ in the chat. Shout out AJ. Shout out Jason Pete out in Mexico, member of the team, supporting over at join.ringsidereport.net. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in tonight on the program. Appreciate you checking us out here on the Ringside Report Network. Like I said, we'll be back tomorrow night live after AEW All Out for more pro wrestling talk on the Ringside Report Network.
Thanks for sticking with us to the end. We would really appreciate it if you could help us spread the word.
You know the drill. Hit that subscribe button. Flip those notification switches.
We are an audience-supported network, so consider becoming a recurring supporter at membership.ringsidereport.net. Check out our website at ringsidereport.net. Hope to see you again.